Miraculous transformation, revealed prophetic identities of the chosen before the supermoon's D. The flickering candlelight danced across the modest apartment, casting warm shadows over the worn wooden furniture. The scent of spiced tea filled the air as James knelt beside his mother and younger sister. They joined in simple family prayer, their hearts unified beneath the protective watch of Saint Michael. This evening seemed ordinary until James felt it a strange stirring, an urgency that coursed through him like electricity. Suddenly, a vision clouded his mind. He gasped, breathless, as images flooded in. Hooded figures, darkened streets, and chaos descending upon their cherished church. The stark light of the supermoon hung ominously overhead, amplifying the feelings of dread inching closer. His heart raced. He had to act. Time seemed to distort as he wrestled with an overwhelming mixture of faith and fear. "Are you okay?" his sister whispered, concern etching her young face. "We need to pray harder," James stammered. Yet inside, he felt the weight of a divine burden pressing down. Could this vision be real? The days passed, each ticking moment tightening the knot of anxiety within him. On the day before the supermoon, trembling and resolute, he approached the church leaders. "I had a vision. A local gang. They planned to attack," he confessed, his heart pounding in his chest. The elders exchanged knowing glances, their expressions a blend of disbelief and respect. "I trust your sincerity, James," said Lord Thomas, the head elder. "But visions can deceive." Murmurs rippled through the congregation like a breeze stirring leaves, igniting doubts and fears. Was this merely a product of James's imagination? Would they dismiss his plea amid the supernatural turmoil he felt inside? But as he returned home, comfort felt distant, like a faint echo of the peace that was once so vivid. As the supermoon approached, James's family leaned into prayer. Their faith was an unwavering flame against the consuming darkness. Each word echoed through the room like a litany of hope, binding their spirits even tighter together. Yet, each prayer felt haunted by the vision of shattered stained glass, an altar drenched in chaos. The night of the supermoon arrived, casting ethereal light over the city. Pulsing with urgency, James gathered the faithful beneath the expansive moonlight. Silence fell as they stood united, faces illuminated in the sacred glow. Just as fear began to shroud their hearts, a miraculous twist unfolded in front of them. An ancient shrine, long forgotten and hidden behind overgrown vines, was revealed, its presence glowing with an otherworldly light. "Look, God is with us!" An elderly woman cried out, her voice rising above the gathering buzz. James felt warmth envelop him like a protective blanket. The unseen rhythms of prayer soon stirred the air, filling every inch with divine elegance. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The gathered community, rejuvenated with fervor, sang and prayed, their voices rising under the vast sky. Miraculous healings took place. Reconciliations bloomed from years of grudges lingering in the atmosphere. James found himself astonished, witnessing a divine chain reaction of transformation sweeping through those around him. But as the night carried on, the question remained: would this miraculous protection truly shield them from the dark threats looming above? James gazed at the supermoon, pulling him closer with its radiant beauty. Perhaps this was the beginning of something far greater than just survival, called to find strength in faith amidst the enemies lurking ever closer. As the gathering settled into an enthralling rhythm of prayer and song, the ancient shrine pulsed with light, drawing hearts toward the divine. The atmosphere shimmered with unmistakable energy as if the very air was charged with a palpable presence. James stood at the forefront, drawn to the shrine's luminescence, and felt an urging deep within him like a beckoning call from heaven. "Brothers and sisters," his voice rang out, steady and confident against the backdrop of fervent worship. This sign, this revelation before us tonight, is proof of God's unwavering love. It is not just a shrine, it is a reminder that we are called to be guardians of our faith and our community. A ripple of agreement surged through the crowd, eyes flickering between James and the glowing structure. Each person felt their spirits lifting, hope blooming like the dawn after a restless night. Suddenly, a shadow flickered on the periphery. James spun around, catching a glimpse of dark figures moving stealthily along the edge of the gathering. His heart thudded uncontrollably. The vision was manifesting before him. With every pulse of fear, he felt the urge to retreat, but the mounting chorus of believers held him firm, each voice intertwining in prayerful defiance. "Fear not," he called out, his voice rising over the swell of worship. "We stand here together, united under his light. No shadows can claim this place." Brave shouts broke out, encouragement booming from the congregation, like a tide rising against an approaching storm. As fear receded, the luminous glow from the shrine intensified, bathing the people in warmth. James's heart began to settle, allowing faith to replace doubt. In this sacred moment, James felt lifted like a weight had been taken from his shoulders. The elder woman, who had first proclaimed the presence of God, stepped forward. "Let us pray for the protection of our church and community. Let the darkness flee before our faith." With that, the collective energy surged, and prayers erupted from their hearts like a symphony, each word a note, each plea a powerful expression of devotion. Overhead, the supermoon hung like a watchful eye. The sky deepened, prickling with starlight. "Lord, protect us. Shield our church. Make us strong," shouted one, while another cried, "Empower us to stand against evil. Let our faith be our shield." James raised his hands toward the moon, joining in fervor with the chorus. Just then, as if acknowledging their unity, a burst of brilliant light cascaded from the shrine, its glow illuminating their surroundings, dispelling shadows and fears. But just as hope surged, a formidable roar echoed through the night. The gang, emboldened by the shadows, emerged from the darkness, intent on disruption. Fear pulsed back into the assembly, a crack in their protective bubble of faith. "Stay firm," James yelled, grasping the nearest shoulder. "God is with us." Yet within him, questions spiraled. Would faith truly protect them? Could mere prayers silence the storm advancing on their sanctuary? He could feel the dread beginning to cloud his heart once more. As the figures approached, rage fueling their purpose, James's resolve flickered. But amidst the chaos, he felt the shrine's warmth reach deeper, an inexplicable peace embracing him. Would this be a night of victory or despair? The shadows loomed larger, and dare he hope for deliverance in the face of impending darkness? His heart raced. The moment of truth was upon them. Would they stand together, undaunted by threats? As the mob neared, James wondered what powerful forces were about to be unleashed from above in response to the faith they had summoned. James's pulse quickened as the menacing figures edged closer. The air thickened with tension, yet he fought to maintain his composure. His eyes scanned the faces of those gathered around him. There was fear, yes, but also a fierce resolve burning in the depths of their eyes, a shared determination, unshakable in that moment. Prayers continued to rise like fragrant incense toward heaven, a powerful declaration against the encroaching darkness. "We will not be shaken. We will not be moved," another voice called out, igniting an electric wave of affirmation among the group. The mob was now just a stone's throw away, shadowy silhouettes outlined against the luminous glow of the shrine. A figure stepped forward from their ranks, someone familiar to James, a former member of their congregation who had long veered away from the light. This was Ethan, once a beloved brother in faith, now a vessel of discord. "James, do you honestly believe that false light can save you?" Ethan shouted, venom dripping from his words. "Look around. You are outnumbered. Your piety won't shield you from reality." James felt a pang in his heart. Once, they had shared good times and prayers. But doubt lingered like a dark cloud as Ethan pressed further. "You think you have power? Where's your God when darkness creeps in? What has your faith done to shield you from this?" James took a deep breath. Could he succumb to doubt, or would he respond with the power of their shared faith? He glanced at the glowing shrine and remembered the warmth that wrapped around him, the peace that transcended all understanding. "Ethan," he called, his voice steady, "God is here, in our hearts and in this place. We will stand together and proclaim his love louder than any voice of hate." There was a moment of silence as the words hung in the air, trembling with hope. The assembled voices grew louder, intertwining like a mighty song, pushing back against the gloom. "God is love. God is light." They chanted, unwavering in their stance. Suddenly, a wondrous phenomenon swept over the shrine. The light began to pulse rhythmically, illuminating the faces of believers, reflecting sheer determination and divine strength. It was as though the very essence of God flooded their spirits, fortifying them against the forces lined up against them. "Look at the sky," a voice called out, and all heads turned to the supermoon glowing brighter than before. Its massive presence hovered above, a celestial witness to their struggle. In that moment, it felt alive, vibrant, as if it, too, was communicating a divine message, sending ripples of warmth and assurance into their hearts. "Let us lift our hands and our voices," James urged, rallying the charge. "Let us declare his victory. Together, as one." They raised their hands high, unified in purpose, each heartbeat echoing a declaration of faith. "Lord, we trust in you." Each syllable resonated with meaning. "You are our strength." Yet, one voice remained rooted in doubt. "This is foolishness." Ethan spat in defiance. "You think your cries will change anything? The only outcome will be despair. You can't fight the inevitable." But that very doubt became a catalyst for James. In the depths of his heart, a quiet but powerful revelation emerged. "Watch and see, Ethan. It is the light that shatters the darkness. The moment of divine intervention is upon us. A transformation awaits us all." Just then, a surge of energy erupted from the shrine, causing the ground beneath James's feet to vibrate with power. The air shimmered, casting an unseen force across the space, and with it came a flood of warmth like waves crashing against a shore after nights of turbulent seas. As the luminous energy enveloped them, James whispered, "Faith is our shelter. Miracles await those who believe." He knew, deep down, that an incredible change was about to happen both for them and for Ethan. The divine plan was unfolding, but how would it manifest? They were at the edge of a precipice, a moment of reckoning. What awaited them beyond this encounter? Would they emerge transformed or splintered? James felt the profound weight of that very question as it hummed in the air like the beating of a sacred drum. The sky was ablaze with glorious light, as if the very heavens were shaking in response to their fervent cries. James felt a current surge through the crowd, a collective heartbeat pulsating with fervor, faith, and hope. Each person stood as a lighthouse of unwavering belief, their spirits intertwined, reflecting the divine energy radiating from the shrine. "Look around," he encouraged. "This is our moment. Our hearts are ignited with his love." The atmosphere thickened with expectation, almost electric, and the heavy shadows cast by doubt began to tremble and recede. He could feel that something monumental was brewing just beneath the surface. "Lord, send your spirit," another voice shouted, breaking through the tension. A murmured agreement rippled from one person to another, a call for divine intervention echoing in unity. With hands lifted high, open to receive, the gathered souls were positioned to witness what was to come. James noticed his friends' faces illuminated by the glow of the shrine, as their expressions shifted from fear to a resolute joy. Their interwoven prayers filled the air, creating a tapestry of faith that seemed to catch the very fabric of reality. God is greater, someone declared, and they echoed back a reminder of his promises. Ethan stood at the edge of this gathering storm, cloaked in uncertainty. The palpable energy struggled against the doubts that held him captive. "You can't expect change from mere words," he shouted, his voice harsh against the harmonious chants. "You think your faith can rewrite fate?" James held Ethan's gaze, grounding himself in love rather than fear. "It's not about fate, brother. It's about surrendering to his will. When we are united in faith, nothing is impossible." As these words left his mouth, the winds began to swirl, a divine massager afoot. It was then that the energy of the shrine surged higher, sending tendrils of light cascading outward like rays of a new dawn. A collective gasp escaped the crowd as the heavenly light enveloped them, igniting every heart with the fire of divine purpose. They were no longer ordinary. They had become vessels of hope. Suddenly, the luminous presence surged through Ethan as well. His expression shifted. The darkness in his eyes flickered as light began to penetrate, igniting buried memories of joy and worship. Shadows danced across his face, revealing glimpses of the brother James once knew. A faint tremor of recognition passed between them. "Ethan," James dared to speak softly, "the light can awaken the truth within us. Remember who you are? You were chosen too." With each heartbeat, the supermoon above cast down its brilliant silvery light, bathing them all in a celestial embrace. Time seemed to stand still as Ethan's resolve faltered, battling against the beauty before him, against the love surrounding him. The light pulsated with greater intensity, and before them emerged a vision unfurling not just for Ethan, but for all gathered there. A revelation sparked within James, a profound understanding of their identities. Each member of this assembly was transformed in that moment, cloaked in divine purpose like shimmering garments of grace. "Rise," James shouted, emboldened by the sight. "Let us boldly stand in our identities. We are more than conquerors through him." A chorus of voices lifted in harmony, surging with renewed vigor. "We are his chosen. We are his light." Gone was the fear, replaced by an exhilarating certainty, a shared calling vibrating within each soul. James's heart raced as he caught Ethan's gaze again. "Let the past fall away," he urged, desperation lacing his tone. "You can be who you were meant to be." Ethan's eyes shone with tear-filled confusion, the turmoil of his heart a tangible struggle between light and shadow. What transformation awaited him? The air shimmered around them, thick with faith and anticipation, inviting a divine turnaround that lingered just within reach. No one could have guessed the magnitude of what was to come, nor how far the light would stretch. As they stood together, a single thought swelled within. "James, what will happen when the light becomes fully revealed?" It was a question that hung in the air, waiting for a response, a holy mystery on the verge of unfolding. The very fabric of their reality hummed with possibility, as if the universe was holding its breath. James could see the change taking root in Ethan's heart. The light swirled around him, stirring something deep within. As Ethan wrestled with his uncertainty, the sound of their unified voices rose like an offering, piercing the veil of doubt. "Feel it, Ethan," James called, his voice firm, yet filled with compassion. "This is not just around us. It is within you. Let break the chains that bind you." The crowd was a sea of uplifted hands, faces radiant with newfound resolve. The supermoon above shone brighter, its beams of silver grace cascading upon each person, weaving through their spirits like ectoplasm, knitting them together in divine unity. For Ethan, each echo of affirmation reverberated with a strange power, clashing against the shadows that clung to him. Memories flickered of laughter shared, prayers whispered, and the unyielding love he once felt. Shadows of doubt loomed, but they were starting to dissolve in the incandescent glow that now filled him. He trembled, caught in the dance between hope and fear. "It's time to let go," James whispered, stepping closer to his brother, his own heart pounding as their gaze locked once more. "Can you feel his calling? It's louder than your past. It's our future." Ethan's breath hitched. "But what if I fail? What if the light isn't meant for me?" "Faith doesn't dwell in fear. It thrives in trust." James responded earnestly. "What you see is not just light, it's love. You were created for this very moment. Just take that step." Around them, their friends began to sway in worship, caught up in a wave of collective faith. Hands reached higher, grasping the divine light, pulling it down as if they could draw the very essence of heaven into their souls. Ethan closed his eyes, allowing the warmth of the light to cradle him. As he did, a flood of emotions washed over him: comfort, joy, and an impossibly deep peace. The struggle within felt like a storm raging at sea, but the whispers of the crowd brought him to the shore. "Lord, I surrender," Ethan finally breathed, his voice barely more than a whisper, yet it rang like a bell within the stillness. "I want to be who you made me to be." As his heart opened, the light permeated him fully, igniting a blazing warmth that spread like wildfire through every part of his being. Chains of despair shattered in the brilliance of this divine embrace, and he lifted his hands, surrendering completely. "Yes." The crowd erupted in an ecstatic roar, trembling with joy at this proclamation of faith. The transition was palpable. The atmosphere thickened, buzzing with the sacred energy of revival. James watched as Ethan basked in the light, the shadows retreating like a fading whisper. His friend's countenance transformed, features softened, eyes gleaming with the glimmer of one awakened. Each person in that assembly felt the crescendo growing, and with it a deep spiritual call compelling them to look wider, to be lighter. "I was blind, but now I see," Ethan exclaimed. Joy burst forth like a fountain, splashing onto those around him, lighting each heart anew. They rejoiced, lifting their voices, ensnared by a newfound fervor. The shrine pulsated with power, every breath taken in rhythm with the sacred air, charged with purpose and intent. "His love sets us free," a woman cried, swaying in ecstatic worship. Yet, amidst the exuberance, a lingering question hovered in the air. What awaited them now that they stood renewed in purpose? What divine path were they about to embark upon as bearers of his light? The answer lingered just beyond their grasp, a mighty promise yet to be revealed. And in the electric silence that followed, hearts collectively wondered, what will the dawn bring when his light breaks forth fully? The mystery was alive, waiting to be embraced. The air throbbed with expectancy, as if the universe had indeed paused to witness the transformation taking place. Ethan felt a cascade of warmth envelop him, a gentle yet undeniable assurance that he was not just welcomed into the light, he was a part of it. The sacred atmosphere was alive, replete with stirring energy and whispering promises, challenging every heart present to rise in faith. James stood close by, watching his brother unfold like a blossom kissed by the morning sun. He could feel the palpable shift in the atmosphere, a magic woven from the depth of souls touching. "What is happening, Ethan?" James asked softly as others began to stabilize around them, drawn into a circle of vibrant connectivity. Ethan opened his eyes and looked around. He gazed at the faces of loved ones lit by a shared glow, filled with joy and peace. "I feel free," he replied, voice trembling with revelation. "It's as if I've been let out of a cage I didn't even know I was in." A ripple of agreement coursed through the circle, each person reflecting the light on their faces. "So many of us have felt the weight of doubt, of fear," a woman exclaimed, raising her hand skyward. "But here we are transformed. We are united." Her voice resonated, igniting a fresh wave of enthusiasm. "Let us pray together," someone called, and in that urgent moment, they joined hands, a living chain infused with renewed visions and spirits. James squeezed Ethan's S hand tightly. In that gesture, Ethan understood this was not just his liberation. It was an awakening for them all. As they bowed their heads, words began pouring forth, untamed and expressive. Each person prayed aloud their deepest longings, hopes, and dreams. Lord, reveal our purposes. Ethan's voice rang with a newfound authority. Show us the path we are to take. The words tumbled forward like a river, the flow of faith washing over sorrow and uniting them in a prayer echoed from the depths of every heart present. With each prayer, the light intensified, shimmerings of gold and silver dancing among the crowd. Ethan's heart raced as he felt something stir an invitation to embrace identity deeper than he had imagined. Suddenly, a quiet voice arose from the back. We have been chosen to be his hands and feet. It was Claire, her eyes sparkling with conviction. We're not just saved. We are called to serve. The truth struck Ethan like a bolt of divine understanding. They were not merely receivers of love. They were messengers of the light. The supermoon illuminated their new understanding as if affirming Claire's words. Together, the group began to chant softly, "We are called. We are light." An uproarious energy swept them, magic flowing through interlocked fingers as they proclaimed their identities in unison. The ground felt electric beneath them, each heart beating louder than before. Yet, in the thrumming joy, Ethan sensed a flicker of something more, a question that begged an answer amidst the celebration, a realization dawning softly at the edges of consciousness. They were set free to lead, to navigate the unknown ahead. But what exactly would they illuminate, and who would they face? As the chants faded, an unmistakable weight of anticipation heavy settled in the air. The supermoon gleamed fiercely overhead, bathing them in its silver brilliance, whispering promises that stretched beyond comprehension. What unfolding journey lay before them? What shadows would they encounter as they stepped boldly into this shining identity? With hearts brimming with faith and eyes wide with wonder, they braced themselves for the revelation. The call echoed softly in their spirits. What divine adventure awaits now that we stand in the radiance of his love? The moment hung in the air, thick with anticipation, as if the night itself knew secrets that were about to be unveiled. Ethan felt his heart pounding, an echo of the divine as he glanced at his companions, each one a flickering flame in the overwhelming light. The supermoon above seemed to pulse, sending waves of energy through the gathered hearts, urging them onward. Suddenly, Ethan stepped forward, compelled by an inner urgency. What if we begin our journey now? He asked aloud, the question tumbling out raw and honest. The soft glow from the supermoon fell upon him, illuminating the determination in his eyes. A murmur of agreement swept through the circle. Claire took a step closer, fiery passion igniting her features. Yes, we must not wait. We have been called to act. Her voice cut through the lingering reverence, summoning a fierce sense of purpose among the group. They collectively tightened their hands, a physical embodiment of their commitment. The warmth radiating between them turned into a surge of boldness that coursed through Ethan's veins. Let us share our visions, he urged. Let us speak out what we see in this moment. One by one, names and fears fell away as people opened up. I see healing, a soft-spoken man declared, eyes brimming with hopeful tears. I see chains broken and lives transformed. Others contributed, painting a tapestry of dreams and vision during this sacred encounter. Communities uplifted, hope restored, shadows dispelled by the brilliance of their collective light. As visions flowed freely around the circle, the atmosphere thickened. Spiritual energy crackled around Ethan's soul like a storm gathering strength. Each word spoken drew deeper from their hearts, stirring the divine within them, reminding him of the deeper purpose to which God called all of them. We are not simply passengers in this life, he declared, his voice growing fervent. We are participants in a mission ignited by love, by light. At that moment, they all sensed it. The atmosphere shifted yet again. It was as if every breath taken filled them with divine courage. Inspired, James whirled around to face the crowd, his expression radiating love and conviction. "We VE felt the weight of darkness," he announced. "But we are no longer hidden. The light has found us, and now we must shine." Cheers erupted around Ethan, resonating with the raw truth behind their mutual experience. They were more than just witnesses to their transformation, they were the very agents of it. Just then, a feeling washed over him, a whisper in his spirit reminding him that every journey involves trial. The shadows were not yet dispelled entirely. A sense of trepidation began to creep in as questions clawed at the edges of his mind. What were they being called into? Were they fully ready for what lay ahead? With a deep breath, Ethan pressed on. "Let us claim our call. Let us step into the world and honor the new identities we VE discovered." He spoke as if the words alone could break chains binding them to uncertainty. Eager eyes looked back at him, enchanted yet wary. The energy pulsating in the air felt thick with both excitement and the unknown. "But where do we start?" someone asked, the fragility of their hope apparent. Silence fell momentarily as each heart grappled with the profound reality of their choices. In that stillness, Ethan realized the truth that would guide them forward. We start with faith and with love. He raised his hands, palms open to the sky, surrendering to the greater purpose that awaited them. A gasp slid through the group as light enveloped them even further, brightening the sacred space, illuminating their doubts. What they were to encounter next loomed like the shadows beneath the supermoon. There, in the heart of the unknown, lay the promise of their destiny. Would they harness that love to forge ahead? With one final thought echoing through their spirits, they turned to face the horizon. What challenges does the moonlight hold for our faithful journey? As the circle took its first collective step into the unknown, anticipation swelled within each heart like the tide, responding to the moon's pull. The cool night air wrapped around them, a gentle embrace of divine promise that foreshadowed the path ahead. Each footfall felt more than just a movement. It was a declaration of faith, a sacred pledge to the vision they had proclaimed. Claire led the way, her eyes sparkling as she shared her own revelation. "We must seek those who are lost. They are waiting for the light we carry." Her voice rang clear, striking chords of urgency that awakened a sense of shared burden. "Yes," shouted James, raising his fist in determination. "Let us stretch our hands toward the weary and the broken. They need to hear of hope." Motivated by that fervor, Ethan felt a surge within a fire igniting under the surface. He could almost hear Goddess whisper, "You are my hands, you are my voice." The enormity of their purpose settled in his spirit, filling him with both trembling awe and divine empowerment. They wandered through the shadows cast by approaching trees, each step revealing greater truths. The path ahead was illuminated by more than just the supermoon. It glimmered with the spiritual energy surging from their unity. Shoulders brushed as they walked, forming a sacred bond that transcended individual fears. Yet the further they advanced, the more uncertainty began to swirl around them. Whispers of doubt fluttered through the air, soft yet insistent. "What if we fail?" A voice quivered behind Ethan. He turned to see a woman, her face pale, bathed in moonlight. Her vulnerability pulled at his heartstrings. "We will not fail," he replied, steadiness wrapping around his voice like a warm cloak. "We have been called to this moment. Fear may rise, but love conquers fear." As they continued, a presence began to envelop them like gentle hands guiding them through the invisible labyrinth. Ethan stole glances at his companions. Some held fast to their declarations, while others wrestled with shadows of doubt. In those moments, he saw their flickering hope and unwavering resolve. It was a blend of passion and hesitation, the fabric of what it meant to walk by faith. Suddenly, a soft rustling emerged from the underbrush. Their steps slowed, eyes widening as something moved just beyond the moonlit path. A deer emerged, its eyes luminous under the glow, seemingly sent to remind them of the sacredness of God as creations. The air shifted once more, and they halted, enraptured by the divine sight. "See how it stands," whispered Claire, breaking the spell. "With such poise and grace, we too must stand firm in our resolve, even when it feels overwhelming." A hush spread among them as they drew inspiration from the creature, bold and unafraid. Ethan lifted his voice softly. "We are meant to be messengers. Just as this deer symbolizes peace, we bring hope. This night, we are to remind others of what they can be." With new clarity, they pressed on, arriving at the edge of a clearing where moonlight danced upon the dew-kissed grass. Ethan took a deep breath, his spirit soaring. "We are standing on holy ground," he murmured, feeling reverberations of truth deepen in his heart. But as they took in the serenity around them, they also sensed the weight of those who lived in darkness just beyond the light. The serenity was pierced by faint echoes of sorrow. At that moment, a chilling gust whipped through the clearing, shaking the branches overhead, stirring the leaves into a frenzy. Ethan shuddered, recognizing the presence of a deeper challenge looming ahead. "What must we do?" he questioned, apprehension creeping into his tone. Would they find courage in their new identities? Would their faith withstand the push of adversity ahead? As if in answer, the supermoon shone brighter still, illuminating their path. They felt its surge an invitation to step out as vessels of divine love in a weary world. Yet the real mystery lingered in the air, as unseen forces of doubt loomed nearby. Ethan turned once more to his companions, the question crystallizing in the silence that followed. Are we ready to step into the unknown and face what lies ahead, trusting in the promises we now carry? The question hung amidst the whispering trees, echoing their uncertainty even as their spirits were stirred. What awaited them as they bravely crossed into the challenges bathed in the soft glow of the supermoon? Ethan's question floated in the air, heavy with anticipation. The moon seemed to pulse, bathing them in an ethereal glow, as if encouraging them toward the destiny unfolding before them. He felt a stirring within him, a conscious realization of their collective strength, woven from faith and love. "Let us just take a moment," Claire suggested, closing her eyes and lifting her face toward the sky. "Let us breathe in hope and exhale fear." One by one, they joined her, focusing on the calm that settled over them like a divine peace. Each inhale became an act of surrender, and each exhale shed the weight that had begun to feel crushing. With hearts united, Claire was the first to open her eyes, her gaze steady. "We carry a message, and that message is love. Love for each other, and love for those we seek." The group began to nod, igniting a flicker of courage in their hearts. But from the shadows, a voice emerged low and haunting. "Do you even know what lies ahead? Are you prepared to face the darkness?" It was the woman from before, her hesitation echoing in her tone. Anxiety rippled through the group at her words, and doubt dared to take root once more. "Fear not," Ethan said, his voice rising to meet the challenge. "The light we carry is greater than any darkness. We are armed with love, and our hearts are fierce with purpose." He gestured to the moon, brilliant above. "Just as it reflects light, we too reflect the heart of God. We are equipped for this fight." James stepped forward, his own spirit ignited. "What if we feel unworthy? What if we trip? What if we lose each other along the way?" The questions tumbled out, raw and vulnerable. His eyes glistened as apprehension played across his face. "Then we will rise again," Claire responded, her voice a clarion call. "We will hold one another up." They gathered closer, forming a circle for strength, grounding themselves in the shared vulnerability. As they clasped hands in prayer, a warmth radiated between them, illuminating their fears with trust. "Lord, lead us," Ethan prayed, his voice low yet steady. "Make us vessels of your love and instruments of your peace." At that moment, something shifted in the atmosphere. A surge of energy suffused the clearing, coursing through them. The trees whispered encouragement. Even the wind seemed to sing their chosen names. Ethan felt emboldened, and with clarity washed over his heart, he grasped the importance of their mission. They were not merely seekers. They were bearers of truth, light in a world draped in shadows. And even if they faltered, they carried within them the true essence of hope, a promise of renewed purpose and unwavering faith. As if inviting them deeper into the unfolding narrative, the moonlight flickered, revealing the silhouette of a figure standing just at the far edge of the clearing. Heartbeats quickened as tension filled the air, curiosity mingling with apprehension. Who is that? What do they seek? Shall we approach? Claire whispered, her voice soft yet resolute. The group turned toward Ethan, looking for direction, their hopes resting on him. Ethan's heart raced, but within him, he sensed a divine nudge. Yes, the unknown awaits us, and with it, the chance to shine our light. With that declaration, they stepped forward together, a collective force surging into the unknown, ready to discover the truth behind the figure in the shadows. What was their purpose here? And would they find the strength to embrace it? The moon lit their path, but the deepest mysteries still lay before them. As they advanced toward the silhouette standing at the edge of the clearing, tension crackled like electricity. The figure stood in stark contrast to the moonlight cascading down, casting deep shadows that danced and whispered secrets. Ethan's heart raced, a blend of excitement and fear igniting within him. Who goes there? James shouted, his voice echoing fiercely, reasserting their collective strength. The figure stepped forward, revealing a woman, her face illuminated by the radiant light of the supermoon. The air was still, and the intensity of her gaze made it clear she held a weighty truth. A hush fell over the group, each heartbeat pounding in reverent anticipation. I have come to witness the light, she spoke, her voice steady and sure. And I seek to join you on your journey. Ethan felt her words cradle his heart like a delicate promise. Join us? He echoed, curiosity pulling him closer. Yes, she said, her voice softening. I've wandered in darkness for too long, plagued by doubts and fears. But I am drawn here, seeing the fire that burns in each of you. Your faith, your love trembles in the air, and I yearn for that light. Moved by her vulnerability, Ethan felt a surge of compassion rise within him. What is your name? Lila, she responded, eyes glistening like the stars above. Lila, he said warmly, we are on a mission to share the love that has transformed us. You are welcome among us. Together, we will light the way for every heart lost in shadows. A ripple of agreement swept through the group, affirming her place in their fellowship. Each soul felt the divine orchestration at play, orchestrated by hands unseen. Here was a woman stepping from the darkness into the light they were called to carry. Let us walk together, Claire said excitedly. Let us share the light overflowing from within us. As they began to move as one, Ethan felt a profound awareness radiate among them. Each step forward was a promise, a commitment to the journey ahead. Yet shadows lingered at the edges of the clearing, unseen forces reeling from the brilliance of this new flame. What if darkness comes for her? A voice quivered from the back. Ethan turned to see it was one of the men from the group, visible unease etched across his features. Ethan held his gaze, searching for strength in their shared fear. Then we will stand together. We are stronger united. She is not alone. We are equipped with faith and love that shields against anything that tries to dim our light. His words fueled hope and ignited a flame of resolve in their hearts. The night air shimmered as they ventured deeper into the untamed wilderness, moonlight acting as their compass. Every rustle of leaves, every sigh of wind felt charged, brimming with purpose. The trees whispered tales of journeys long past, guiding them toward a destiny waiting to unfold. With each step, stories began to rise within Ethan, visions of those lost in despair, trapped under the weight of doubt. Memories of the sleepless nights and heartfelt prayers mingled with their experience of light and transformation. He lifted his voice, not just for Lila, but for everyone trapped in darkness. We are here to show you that it is never too late to step back into the light. We walk because we believe. We are testimonies to the power of love, to the promise that we are all chosen. A chorus of agreement erupted from his companions, voices soaring in praise, mingling with the moonlit breeze. Suddenly, without warning, shadows encroached from the trees, dark figures emerging as if spawned from doubts unspoken. A menacing gang loomed ahead, eyes glinting with malicious intent, sparked by a fury both tangible and malignant. "Fools!" the leader snarled, stepping forward, radiating contempt. "Do you think your light can protect you? You will falter and fall." Tremors of fear rippled through the group, but Ethan held fast, feeling the warmth of Lila's presence next to him, igniting his resolve. "Together," he shouted, "we stand against you. Love is our shield, and faith is our sword." Faith surged among them like a tidal wave, binding. Their hearts together, they stood side by side, hands clasped, as the gang advanced, an adamant wall formed by spirit and purpose, unwavering in the face of darkness. "Before you, we are light," Claire added, determination illuminating her words, filling the air with power. "We will not bow in fear, nor will we retreat into silence." In that moment, the brilliance of their collective faith sparked something deep within shadows. The oppressive darkness shuddered, recoiling from the rising anthem of unity, fear melting away as each voice merged into the divine symphony. "Let our faith be the light that guides us," Ethan roared, feeling the energy of the earth beneath him pulse with life, imbuing his spirit with unstoppable momentum. Suddenly, the supermoon, witnessing their defiance, flared brighter, a luminescent beacon that sent shards of light cascading down like heavenly rain. The gang faltered, uncertainty flickering across their faces as they quailed beneath the intensity. "Look!" a member of the gang cried, backing away. "What is this? We cannot fight this." The shifting dynamics shattered the darkness like delicate glass. The foes, once so formidable, felt the weight of their own shadows and found themselves retreating, fear overtaking their malicious intent, dissolving in the brilliance. And then, the crowd erupted in joyous celebration, arms raised high, voices proclaiming the light's victory. Tears flowed freely, hearts embraced with gratitude, as they witnessed a powerful revelation. Faith had indeed triumphed. "Yes," Ethan shouted, exhilaration coursing through him. "This is just the beginning. Together, with hearts ablaze, we will shine brightly for those still wandering in shadows." Where once darkness loomed, light now enveloped them, renewed purpose coursing through their veins, pushing them to become emissaries of hope. The air itself felt lighter, charged with the promise of fulfilled calls, of profound love, of a mission ready to be carried forth. As they gathered around Lila, who stood radiant amidst the celebration, Ethan knew in that moment that their journey was only just beginning. They faced forward, hearts unfurling in unison, reveling in the beauty of their restored identities as they stepped boldly into the divine adventure yet waiting to unfold. The night still held wonders, and their collective strength came alive, brimming with the promise that they would face whatever lay ahead, fearless in their shared commitment to shine. With each step taken beyond the clearing, they proclaimed together, echoing into the night, "We are the light." The journey continues. The moon smiled down upon them, embracing the unfolding journey, as their hearts danced in harmonious rhythm, united in the most sacred calling, the calling to be the divine light. And with that, the journey into the light began anew. You need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this powerful ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait even one more second to share. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.